Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Friday, June 30th, 2023. You know what's really disgusting? How about the nonsense that they fist feed us every freaking day? And I'm being serious. It really gets to me sometimes. Now, let's just cover some of the economic news that we just got this morning. Basically, it comes down to this, and I'll break it down in just a moment here. Inflation continues to rise. It continues to rise despite what came out of the mouth of our so-called president, just a few days ago, that inflation was dropping. Inflation is not dropping, according to the Federal Reserve's own numbers from today. Not only is inflation continuing to rise, no secret to you or me or anyone who follows this blog, but it also continues to outpace every single projection made by the Federal Reserve itself or even individual members of the Federal Reserve. Imagine my shock here. So personal consumption expenditures, which is the Federal Reserve's favorite inflation gauge, although it did come down a little bit, still shows us that inflation is rising. Core prices continue to rise as well. And of course, none of this is being passed on to you. It's being absorbed by the bigwigs at the corporations. You know that, but obviously that's not true. All of this, you're bearing the brunt of it. And again, there's no accountability, zero, and that's pretty much where we stand. But how many of you honestly are shocked at all, surprised that inflation continues to rise? And I'm going to let you in on another secret. Are you ready to know what that secret is? It's not going to stop. They can't stop what's coming here with regard to much higher inflation just by incrementally raising rates, now going on for many, many, many months, and they're trying to convince you that a miracle is going to eventually happen. No, it can't, okay? If they really, really honestly, and I'm being honest, if they wanted to stop inflation in its tracks, the Federal Reserve, what would they do? What would they do? They would raise the amount of cash that banks need to hold in reserve. That would contract the money supply. This is a money supply problem at its core. And what's going on here is they continue to inflate, period. But they want you to believe inflation is going to slow. It's going to eventually get really good, and it's going to be some kind of a utopian society. How about no? You can't make this stuff up. It's impossible to do, people. Anyway, and also a couple of other things on the economic front. So now that we found out again today, this morning, by their own numbers, that inflation continues to rise, what does that mean? For the last 25 consecutive months, real wages, that what people are earning against the pace of rising inflation, is lower. For 25 consecutive months. Where's the outcry? Where's the revolution? I don't hear a damn thing. And also with regard to personal spending, missed the mark by 100%. That's the truth. People are getting squeezed to death, despite the fact that consumer debt, household debt, personal debt continues to rise as people continue to swipe and borrow and everything else. Again, what's going on? You got loan defaults skyrocketing at a pace that we have not seen ever. Even the Great Recession, it's worse off now. But, according to our lovely president, everything's just lovely and perfect. Anyway, on the back of this, stock futures are in the green right now. Not anything major, but they're higher nonetheless. The 10-year yield made one hell of a jump higher yesterday. Last time I looked at it, was 3.85. The relative strength of the dollar did come down a little bit. The MMRI, last time I looked at it, like a minute ago, was 246.7. Again, I'm waiting to see what they're going to do. And I'm sure you are as well, because every time we've been here, every freaking time, all of a sudden a miracle occurs. Some entity out here starts buying more debt, and the 10-year yield comes down. But the bigger picture with regard to the yield curve, it's inverting even further. It's getting more and more and more and more inverted. And again, since 1950, okay, literally, every single recession has been preceded by a yield curve inversion, but we've never been inverted like this before. This is something where no man or no woman has ever gone before. But everything is fantastic. You know it is because they're telling you. And whatever the authority figures say, it must be true. You and me, we're just getting it all kinds of wrong, I guess. We're missing the big picture because they have to be right. Imagine my shock here. So let's see. They want to block out the sun to stop climate change. That's going to work out real well. You can't make any of this stuff up here, people. They're still selling the lie that by raising rates, inflation is going to get better at one point. Can't stop. If you just understand the basic mechanism here, realizing that in order to keep the stock market propped up and to reinflate a real estate bubble, central banks have gone completely wild around the world. It should be some kind of a movie, Central Banks Gone Wild, and flooded the world with debt like we've never seen before. Now, all of these extra bills in whatever form they've been created out of nothing, they have already started to, quite obviously, chase the same, or in this situation, a lesser amount of goods. That is a recipe for disaster with regard to inflation. Talking about a recipe for disaster, what do you think about with the stunning admission yesterday from the Federal Reserve, admitting that they expect businesses here in the United States a catastrophe? That's their own words. Again, you and I have known this since day one. Okay, now all of a sudden it's coming to light. Central banks raising rates, what is it meant to do? It's not meant to stop inflation. We know that. If they really wanted to stop inflation, they would raise capital reserve requirements of the banks. You know that, but that's not what's going on here. They are cutting off the availability of credit to businesses deliberately to wipe out small businesses, fulfill the corporate agenda, and basically kill the consumer. Imagine my shock here. So I want to hear from you on these things. What do you think about the fact that for 25 consecutive months, real wages are lower? Meanwhile, just the other day, puke president lied to us all. Imagine my shock, a politician lying, and said that people are making more money. And he also said inflation is coming down. Where's the accountability there? It's nowhere. Because inflation is not coming down. Again, by today's own numbers, you can't make it up. Going back to the market, as I said, stock futures are higher. 10-year yield, same as yesterday. You got the dollar relative strength lower, MMRI 246.7 last time I looked at it. Bitcoin over 31,000. Bitcoin Cash is really something going on there. It's doing unbelievably phenomenal. Cryptos and aggregator doing well today. Gold and silver under some pressure. Crude oil up very, very slightly this morning. That's where we stand. And just, I don't know, people. All this stuff is just it's too freaking much. I'll be honest with you. It's very, it gets to me, and I'm sure it gets to you as well. You know what gets to me more than anything else, honestly? All this stuff is well and good, and we sit and we talk about it, and it's interesting and maybe fun in some kind of a twisted way. But what really gets to me is how nobody is ever held to account for these things. It just seems like, I don't know what it is. I think what it really comes down to, first of all, people have no idea what's going on, what's happening to them, and by design regarding, again, for example, real wages falling for now 25 consecutive months. They're being robbed blind. Then you got, the liar and thief telling them that this is not happening. But meanwhile, it is happening. It's just gone. Nothing is real anymore. Nothing it seems to be. You know that. It's some kind of a psyop on an unprecedented scale, trying to get people convinced that what they're experiencing, what they're seeing with their own eyeballs is not real. It's the truth. It really, really is. Anyway, that's it. All right, look. So this has been interesting, I think, and fun, and I want to hear from you. Please comment on the stuff that we have discussed here. Always, please, those thumbs up are so valuable. I really would appreciate that. Get this video out there. Share it. I can't imagine there's too many other places where you're going to get this kind of information from. So I'm counting on you to share the video and get it out there. I will see you later for my live stream, 1:05 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And that's it, people. I will see you later, okay? Have a great day.